Well, that was good fun, wasn't it? Manchester City have scored some goals, played some good football, and just won 4-1 away against Dinamo Zagreb. I enjoyed that. It was a good game of football, so we're going to take a deep dive into that game. But before we do that, before we go too far, I've just hit my glasses in by accident. Too giddy. I want to say thank you to OneFootball for continuing to sponsor this channel. Go and download it in the link in the description below. It's a fantastic app with loads of Manchester City goodness. And what are you waiting for? It's brilliant. It's free. It gives you all the updates and all the teams and all the news that you want to know, including Manchester City's performance tonight, which is a very good performance. So go download it in the link in the description below to keep yourself updated on the world of Manchester City. But today we're going to talk about that performance because it was refreshing. I don't know about you guys, but I needed that. I needed some positivity in the world of Manchester City Football Club because recently it's been a bit naff. I know I've been personally fine because I've had personal great news to kind of get me through it, and I'm going to keep mentioning that in the video. Sorry, I'm just giddy still. But I think everyone else needed this performance, and I did really as well as a football fan. And that was good. It was good fun, you know. It was good. It was entertaining. It was a nice game of football with some lovely stories in it as well. I'm going to go through them individually throughout this video. Firstly, I'll start with the team and the kind of overall kind of overview of the game. I think we knew that in general this game wasn't going to mean anything because it didn't. Yeah, we were through. Of course, Dinamo had something to play for, obviously, so they were going to have a little bit of effort at least at the start, and that did entail, I guess, but we kind of did make a lot of changes, and it was always going to make a lot of changes. We had Bravo in goal back after his disastrous cameo where he got sent off last time. Not Kyle Walker in goal, but I'm your dad now these days. I'm your dad. I can't help it. But Bravo was in goal with Joao Cancelo at right back. Eric Garcia made a start, which was lovely to see, alongside Otamendi, with left back Benjamin Mendy back into the team after Angelino's recent games. Then we had midfield of Gundogan, Rodri, and Phil Foden, which was great to see him start as well, with Bernardo Silva playing kind of on the left-ish. Well, he's meant to be on the left. He wasn't really out there much. With Gabriel Jesus through the middle and Riyad Mahrez on the right. And it was quite an interesting team. I was quite looking forward to seeing that, to be honest. I was gutted Taylor Harwood-Bellis didn't start, but in general it was nice to see a different Manchester City team, a little bit of freshness in that team, because I wanted just to see not the same old players playing week in, week out. I wanted to see some changes. There was always going to be changes, but we saw some interesting changes at very least. Now, it didn't start that well either, unfortunately. We did alright at the start. We were passing it around relatively neatly, but they did score after 10 minutes with that young Spanish, that very talented young Spanish international, Olmo, scoring a lovely volley. I thought Bravo personally was crap for it, but I'm not going to give the credit to the guy for really sweetly striking the ball. Bravo, though, I just thought he was naff. I think he's just small. I think somehow he managed to make himself smaller constantly. And I think if Edison was in goal, he would have saved that. But, you know, that's what Bravo is. He's totally fine as long as the ball is nowhere near the goal. But fortunately, that was basically just it. City started to kind of up the tempo midway through that first half. We had a good Gundogan shot, and then there's a nice Foden run around 30 minutes, and then we eventually did get the equaliser. Foden was really starting to find his footing in the game at this point. A lovely dribble that kind of led to two Dinamo players absolutely taking each other out. He still got up and still carried on playing. A little bit of a scramble. The ball worked its way to the right hand side. Mahrez whipped in a delightful cross, and Gabriel Jesus headed home. Dinamo really kicked off about that, and there's a lot of bad blood which probably led to an incident at half time, which I'll get onto in a second. But it was their own fault. I'm sorry. Like, if you try and take people out and get injured, it's not even a head injury either, and you injure yourself by trying to hack someone down, you can get a fuck if you think we're knocking the ball out. I'm glad that City didn't, and I'm glad they paid for their own cynicism, basically, because it was stupid stuff from them. Dangerous stuff as well. Foden built like a brick. Fair play to him. Got up, rided the challenges, and carried on. What an attitude from the young guy. And that set the tone for the rest of his performance. Half-time, they should have been down to 10 men. I do not know how they weren't sent off. An elbow in Rodri's face. I can't remember the name of the player who did it now, but it was the most cynical foul I've ever seen. I said on Twitter, like, okay, so if that's not a red card, what are people meant to think by that one? Can you really blame fans for thinking things are dodgy when you see something that sinister, that cynical? Like, it was the most obvious red card. I mean, either way, he's gone forceful with his elbow towards someone's face. Whether he meant to hit his face or not, it's irrelevant. He's definitely meant to elbow someone and swang out like that. It's dangerous. It's forceful. He hit him square in the face. Rodri's a big guy. He's like 6'3". You're not hitting his face unless you mean to, really. And for that, VAR didn't give that. Like, so the best case scenario is that they're wildly incompetent, because surely no one can look at that replay and not think that's a red card. I don't get how anyone could look at the replay and think that's not a red card, unless well, that doesn't even bear thinking about because it's terrifying, because that means we haven't got a chance. Who does have a chance? Anyway, second half, we started really, really well. Great play down the left. Benjamin Mendy and Foden started to look up lovely at this point. Nice little 1-2s. Foden did a 1-2 with Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus got the ball, turned the side defender, and got his second of the night, which is really nice. And then the third goal, which for me was the most encouraging, was once again Phil Foden kind of finding that inside channel that David Silva made his own. And he looked like David Silva playing a pass through behind the defence on the pre-assist to Leroy Sané, but this time it was Foden finding Mendy, and Mendy delivered and whipped. There you go, delipped. That's when you whip to delivery. I've just made a word up, delipped. Delivered the most beautiful of crosses. He whipped it past the right between in the channel, that famous channel, and Gabriel Jesus got on the end of it and scored. And honestly, he kind of carried on that way. Then Mendy kept whipping in beautiful crosses, and we kept getting on the end of him. It was loads of lovely little link-up play. In particular, once again, Foden and Mendy linked up gorgeously. Gabriel Jesus headed over. And then after that, we kind of started to really wind down. The game was really won. There's a few little stories, though. Zinchenko came on, which is great to see him back on the pitch. But at one point, he was playing like as a false nine as well, which is really weird. Then we saw him later on kind of a little bit deeper in midfield. Then we saw Bernardo kind of as a false nine. We just kind of saw loads of kind of random connotations, which is Manchester City kind of just going through the motions. I kind of wasn't really sure why he brought Raheem Sterling on. Surely he needed a rest, especially after his antics on Sunday night. But whatever, we did. And most importantly for me, we got Taylor Harwood-Bellis on, the 70-year-old Manchester City Stockport fan. Getting him on, absolutely huge. I love to see that. He got on for 10 minutes alongside Eric Garcia as well. Those two got to play together. And finally, we got the thing that most excited me, because I thought Foden totally and utterly deserved a goal tonight. I thought he was excellent. Gundogan found Bernardo. Bernardo cut it cross. A low cross, the return of the low cross. And Foden slotted it home. Lovely. Overall, it was a good performance. Foden, by far, was the standout for me. Foden, I thought tonight, looked like a man who totally and utterly understood his role in that team. He's matured. The way he glides past people, he's almost balletic. Like the grace and the elegance which he runs past challenges. It's why a lot of people compared him to Iniesta, because that style is a lot closer to David Silva. If you get some kind of Iniesta-Silva hybrid, we're on to some hell of a winner here, because he scores goals as well. And he started to play tonight. That pass that David Silva's mastered so well in the inside left channel. And he got his goal, a goal threat, creating chances, linking up, winning the ball back. Honestly, probably Foden's best performance in a Manchester City shirt. Genuinely brilliant tonight. And he ran that game, and easily, in my humble opinion, the man of the match. And the other good story was, a few good stories tonight. The other main one was Mendy. It's like someone had pressed the hard reset button on him. At one point, I mean, he gave the ball away a couple of times, it's understandable. But at one point, he showed a bit of pace to track back as well, which I was really happy with. Guardiola's talked a little bit recently about how he's not been playing because Angelino's just in a better rhythm. I think they've had question marks about Mendy's current fitness and state, and that's probably fair enough. But it looks like whatever they've done on the training pitch, and maybe it's just a little bit of time to reassess what he's done so far and what he's not doing right and what he can improve on. It seems to have worked. Tonight he was good. I think we also saw the effect that confidence can have in a player. One good cross, and after that his head totally and utterly lifted. So many delightful crosses tonight, so threatening, a genuine asset on the left. And hopefully that's the start of sign of Mendy getting back to his best, because that left foot is undeniably good. He can cross a ball, that fella. And if he gets his pace back as well, we're absolutely set. Also, I'd just love to see Eric Garcia playing. Had very little to do. Maybe there was some question marks that he didn't track his man for that first goal. That some people would say that's Gundogan. Argue amongst yourselves for that. But I thought Garcia looked totally composed. Had very little to defending to do, with being totally honest. But it was great to see him play. And to see Taylor Harwood-Bellis get on as well. Like, this is a 70-year-old Manchester City fan. I touched on it before, but this stuff genuinely means something. This kind of cameo, it means something for these players. Also, fair play to Harwood-Bellis. He's only He's young, but he already looks strong. He already looks like an absolute unit. And I love the way that he carries himself in a similar way to Vincent Kompany. You can tell he's grown up training at Manchester City every single day around the first team, because he moves in the same way with his shoulders out. He kind of tries to block the ball in the same way. Everything about the way he moves is like a young Vincent Kompany. And I love that, because you can tell it means so much to him to be around his squad, and that he actually is a Manchester City fan as well. I know he's got a lot of ties to Stockport as a fan as well, but he goes to Manchester City games. He supports us as a fan. We had two Manchester City fans on the pitch there, two local lads. And that's what it's all about. I love this kind of night because it's fun. It's also why I love the Carabao Cup. You get to see games like that where you get to see a little bit of experimentation and you get to see something interesting. I really like Bernardo drifting about tonight as well. I know he was against Dinamo Zagreb and they were largely apathetic, but you can only really beat what's in front of you. And tonight was just a fun game to see some good movement. And we started to keep the ball at the end. We started to see City looking confident, passing the ball around. I know they were kind of kind of cones at times, but still, it was a good performance with lots of nice little narratives. I really wanted to see a fresh side. Now, for me, honestly, Foden has to start playing Premier League games. He has the energy, he has the dribbling ability, he can score goals, he can tackle, he looks confident and he cares. I'm not saying the other players don't care, but he cares in the way that only a young player can. When you're that young and you're trying to make a name for yourself, you will do anything to play football. And even though obviously the senior pros will too, it's something different when you're a local fan. And it's great to see as well, once again, Harwood-Bellis and Garcia play. Give them games where you can, Pep. Honestly, they will not let you down. They are very exciting players. Trust in them because they are fantastic. Gabriel Jesus as well. How can I not touch on him? A great hat-trick. Jesus is always lethal in December. That was bad, wasn't it? That was bad. It was not even lethal, doesn't make sense. A big month for Gabriel Jesus in December, or something like that. You write your own puns. I'll stick to the dad jokes. But yeah, it was good to see him. The high quality goals, really nice first one. A couple of tap-ins, well, a good header and a tap-in. Just a good performance from Gabriel Jesus. I still believe in him loads. I still think he's got loads of ability. We just got to give him time to really feel his way into the squad. But either way, tonight was a good, fun game with some good performances. It was decent. And that's all that matters. And there was some lovely narratives. Guys, let me know what you thought of that game. Go down to OneFootball, of course. I'll be back tomorrow for another video, the 5 things learned. Probably just raving about Foden again, if we're being totally honest. But I enjoyed that tonight. It was good. And I also enjoyed that it was early. It was good. I'm just like, it's only like 8:05 and I've done the video already. Mint. In a bit.